once again, everyone. Bryan Devore, Devore Realty Group, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, California Properties with another Monday market moment. Today, we're going to attempt to answer the question, will prices plunge? We've been talking about the fact that the market is becoming more of a buyer's market, but will prices plunge? We'll take a look at that in just a moment. First, let's look at the latest stats. Right now, we have 6,623 homes for sale throughout the county. That's down 59 from last week. Keep that in mind for just a moment. Median list price, $950,000, no change. Average days on market, 53. Pending sales, no change, 2284. I think it's the first time since we've been doing the Monday market moment for over 5.5 years now. We've had the same number of homes in escrow week after week. Median list price, $889,000. And the average days on market, 36. Months of inventory went down a little bit, 3.37. It was 3.64. Here is a chart showing total actives and total pendings. You can see the trend line for total active dipped and the same number of pending sales as last week. How many homes came on the market last week? 755, a big drop of 98 versus the week before. Median list price, $899,000. The new pendings, 389. It's an increase of 49 versus last week. Interesting sign. Median list price, $899,000, lower than the ones that went pending the week before. Average days on market, no change, 35. New pendings listed within the last week, 12. New pendings listed within the last 2 weeks, 98. So 3% of homes are selling in 1 week or less, 25% in 2 weeks or less. We had a total number of sales last week of 386, down 45 versus last week. Median list price, $924,500, higher than it was the week before. Median sales price also up to $920,000. Average days on market, 33. Least expensive sale was in Santee, $170,000. Del Mar had the most expensive sale, a whopping $21,440,000. And here is the chart showing the new actives, new pendings, and new closed sales. Quite a big drop in the number of homes that came on the market, the fewest in about a month. Meanwhile, the number of pendings went up, kind of unexpected. Sort of. This time of year, they usually go down, but interest rates went down a little bit, so pendings went up. And here's the chart showing the median list price and median sales price. Back up again. Here is the chart from Stephen Thomas's most recent reports on housing of active inventory. And you can see the dip. And this is the time of year when typically we used to see that inventory would peak and then start coming down. Last couple of years, it didn't peak until later on. Have we already peaked? We'll have to wait and see, but interesting trend line versus the last couple of years. Okay, what would it take for prices to plunge? And this is from Stephen Thomas, and he has 3 key factors to make prices plunge. First is a glut of inventory. Second is lack of demand. Third is distressed inventory, meaning short sales and foreclosures. So let's take a deeper dive into each one of those. And before we do that, you can look at historically, in the month of June, Stephen looked at year over year and month over month since 2006. And you can see, this is a Freddie Mac house price index. The negative numbers are drops in prices. And you can see in 06, they went down a little bit, 07, a little bit more. And then we had the crash down almost 20%, almost 11%. But then they actually went up in 2010 and kept going up until just this past June. And they went down just a little bit, not a lot. Okay, inventory, that's the first factor. Well, remember what I said? Keep in mind the total number of listings went down. Well, here is the United States total housing inventory year over year. This last couple of years versus 2006 and 2007, look where we are in inventory. Look at the white line showing where we are relative to where we were back 20 years ago almost. Way fewer homes for sale than we had back then. So we don't have a glut of inventory. Builders aren't building like they used to. So number one factor, not a factor. Okay, here's demand year over year. That's the only one that he says, is in play here. The demand is very low, much lower than it was in the years prior to COVID, much lower than it was even in 2022. but about the same as it was the last couple of years. And remember how I said the number of homes that went pending last week went up? Hmm. Demand actually is maybe climbing a little bit. So it's definitely not a large number of homes that are going into escrow, but it's not plummeting. And then the third factor is distressed properties. Look at the number of distressed properties we had in San Diego County way back during the Great Recession. Look where we are right now. You can barely see the blue. We do have a couple foreclosures and a couple short sales, but certainly not a lot of them because we have tighter lending standards. People have to be able to qualify for the loan. They have low interest rates. They have some healthy equity over the last couple of years. So the greatest percentage of housing stock that even have loans, because a lot of them don't, and so those people aren't going to be short selling or foreclosing, but they have healthy equity and low interest rates. So of those three factors, the only one that may be in play is lack of demand. Otherwise, the other ones are not. I don't think we're going to see a big plunge in prices. Certainly not yet. And you can see the expected market time. And this is another factor that I kind of threw in from his report. Look at the expected market time over the last couple months. It's been going down. So we're seeing faster sales. Don't think we're going to see prices plunge anytime soon. That's it for this week's Monday Market Moment. If you have any questions about this information, feel free to give me a call, send me a text, send me an email. Be happy to help. Look forward to seeing you next Monday in the next Monday Market Moment. Have a great day.